Is masculinity becoming irrelevant? Woo! I just dropped the mic. Hi, I'm Dr. Jacquie and welcome to Vantage Point. This is real conversations. These are talking points across generations, and we're going to have those conversations that people avoid having but need to. Joining me
is Alex de Rosario, and today we're going to talk about a topic that creates a lot of debate, confusion, and strong emotions.
Well, let's get in it. Let's get with it. Now, masculinity. First of all, what is your definition of masculinity?
So that's such a hard thing now because I feel like it's been redefined.
Mm-hmm.
Where, for instance, what is femininity? Everyone talks about that.
No, they don't.
Oh, I feel like they do.
No, they don't.
All right.
So here's my issue. I believe that there's been an imbalance because most women are now functioning not in their feminine energy anymore.
Okay.
I don't know when it happened, but it seems as if to me there was some unspoken message that it's not good for you to be too soft, feminine. You got to be a boss. You got to take the lead. And so what I'm finding now is that women aren't celebrating their femininity. Oh, I wear pink. You see?
Yeah.
But as a result, I feel as if similarly, men are not operating in their masculine energy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to look at it from that lens of energy, which is something that to me is innate. So I know that we're going to talk about masculinity through different lenses, but I just want to talk about it innately. I remember when I was at University of Miami in undergrad, and I took my first psychology class. This is what they said to me. Is gender roles taught or are they innate? Are girls different than boys and boys different than girls? Is that instinctually or is it something that society teaches? Man, I really did struggle with that until I had my first children. It's obvious. I mean, they come out of the womb different. Anybody that's had a girl and a boy knows the difference. I think you have.
Yes.
So tell us what some of the differences are.
Yeah. So I know my definition of masculinity. What I'm saying is definitions change with the times, but they haven't for me. So to me, masculinity is exactly what you said. It's more so the gender roles or just the way in which the energy. I actually like that word a lot. It's a lot of it is the energy that you bring to anything.
Okay,
so there's a masculine way to like you said, do anything.
Men are less emotional. They show up differently. Even when they are an emotional male, it doesn't look like an emotional female. So do you see any differences? You have a boy and a girl.
Yes.
So tell me, did you notice anything different from them that was distinctive from birth?
For sure. I would say that my daughter was always more expressive. So even with something as simple as crying, she would cry until where my son is crying to get his point across. Hey, I don't like that. And then it's going to go into a little whining. And then her. And then it's like she's going to make sure that you understand how she's feeling. So some of that is personality, but some of that's also feminine because we see it in the normal dynamic of husband and wife. That wife, they've been known to, some people call it nagging because they're going to continue on and on until that thing gets addressed where a man is going to say it once, maybe twice, and then it's like, let me bury that down because...
But see, now I'm starting to get hot. The temperature just went up. Because what I feel is that when you say that, even using a derogatory word like nagging sounds like it's not okay for her to operate in her feminine. So listen.
And that wasn't my word.
Well, you just said
No, I was quoting. I wasn't quoting myself.
Well, I didn't see any air quotes.
Oh, sorry.
At all.
Nagging.
Okay, right.
Sorry, you're right.
Well, anyways, I will go on to say this. I think that the way that a woman and a male communicates is different.
Yeah.
So here's a basic difference. A woman has 3 to 5 language centers. So her need to communicate and to express herself in a communicative way is very different than a male. Y'all only have 1, 2, whereas we have 3 to 5 language centers. So our ability to see cause and effect, to see how things correlate, is really important. And all you have to have done is had an argument with someone of the opposite sex to understand how very different we are when we communicate, around the same situation. We see it from beginning to end. We see that it connects with something you did last month, last year. A man doesn't.
Yeah, so...
And you all see that as excessive, but it's... You get where I'm going with this?
Well, so in terms of what I was saying with my daughter versus my son, what I was getting at is everyone communicates to get their point across. The difference is she wasn't going to stop communicating until she got what she wanted versus expressing yourself. So that's where the nagging comes in, because nagging is, I already know about that. Oh, sorry. Nagging comes in when you are just repeating the same thing over and over and over.
Okay, so a woman does that when she feels like she's not assured that you understood what the problem was, and you're not going to continue to repeat it.
Agreed, but for instance, going back to what I'm saying with my daughter and my son, some of it is you don't want to be in the car seat. We're going to school. You have to be in the car seat. So you continually say, no, that's not going to change it. I already understand, and I've already told you, we have to go to school. This is what I have to put you in. There is no way about it. So what I'm saying is I saw that my son was also uncomfortable. He's going to cry because he understands. Once I tell him, son, this is it, he's still whimpering, but it's not like, I need you to do this for me, because it's already understood. So what I'm saying is nagging for a man is, we've already talked about this. We've already discussed this, and you're still bringing it up.
Okay, so
that's what a man calls nagging.
Okay, so what I feel for women is, and her feminine, she needs to be understood, and she needs to be ensured that you understand and that there's not going to be a repeat. Sometimes a woman is looking for you to answer something that she has a need of. So maybe you just saying that didn't address what was really at the center of her distress. So you haven't spoken to it. So therefore, she's not happy with that.
So can you answer that even in I know it's trivial, but even with the car scenario? There's nothing for me to address.
Yes, it is. Maybe her feelings were hurt because she was feeling alone in that back seat, and you're in the front of the car driving, and she's not able to be engaged. It could have been something. Okay. Now, it's funny that I'm the woman here. I'm the XX chromosome, and I'm the one that's coming up supposing that. I'm not saying that that's what it was, but it very well could have been. But that doesn't even occur to you. So here's the point of this first segment for me.
Okay.
The point is that if you don't want to date another man, then you need to love, embrace, receive, accept all of the parts of a woman.
Agreed.
And there shouldn't be any criticism about those parts that are different, because there should be an understanding that she brings to me something that I don't have.
Yes.
But what I find is that men they want to see that body all curved up and stuff like that, but then they don't want the full package. So they like the body, but they don't like the communication style. But it all belongs in the same vessel. So what I feel happens in most relationships, and this is the reason why there's a breakdown, is that there's a disrespect. There's a lack of honor for the entire vessel, meaning the way she communicates, the way she looks, the way she feels. And when you embrace that, you embrace the woman. And so I think void of that, what is happening is that men are really asking for women that are more like them. That's the masculine. So then when women show up being hard, harsh, caustic, angry, they don't understand that it's because you've not identified with her feminine. You've not given her feminine free expression. She feels judged or under scrutiny, so therefore she's not being that. I believe that in the masculine energy is a leadership energy. Masculine energy is an energy that is very level-headed. It's not like how a woman is emotional, but it is the balancer. So without you being the balancer, you can't balance me if you're criticizing.
All right. So I guess my next question is, so what does masculinity look like for you? Because the same way that you were stating that a lot of men want women to be more masculine, I feel that a lot of women want men to be more feminine.
They do.
So then doing that same thing that you just did for feminine, do it for masculine.
So let me tell you what I'm used to hearing women say. They want a feminine man when it comes to communication. They want to be able to tell him when he says, "How was your day?" They don't understand a man really just wants cliff notes, but they want to say, "Yeah, I told her this and then she said that." And men don't really want that. They only have 1 to 2 language centers. We have 3 to 5. So it's never going to be equal footing in that regard. And so I tell women all the time, you want a man that's very sensible and very soft and all. Do you understand what that looks like in the physical? I mean, not theoretically and not just for conversation. You want a friend. So I tell them all the time, there's conversations and things that you do with your girlfriends. But don't try to make your man an all in all. Let him be the man. And don't expect or require from him to give you the things that only another female can give you. And that is those protracted conversations where you get into the details. Most men aren't interested in, unpacking every little detail and looking at it and examining it under the light. Some do, but let's just say we're speaking in general terms, right? That just isn't the case. Another thing that women love is they like somebody that's so intuitive to understand what they haven't said yet. Men are not that intuitive.
Yeah, because to your point, I think that one of the biggest divides is a man can feel like he's already addressed something, but then a woman feels like since she's not feeling affirmed, then it's not addressed. But going back to what we said, even with the trivial car ride thing with my daughter, if I'm telling you, hey, I hear that you don't like this, but this is necessary. For most men, it's like, oh, so now, again, it's almost more feminine for a man to even have to think, oh, wait, but did I affirm how she felt? And that it's already saying, hey, I understand that you're uncomfortable. This is what it is. See, because that's masculine.
But you just did it in the masculine.
But on the opposite end, now I'm going to continue to complain because I'm not feeling heard or something like that. So that's where it gets very confusing. Is a man in his masculine is going to deal with something a certain way, but then on the opposite.
But I'm going to give you 2 little steps that a man needs to do. Did you affirm what she felt?
Yes.
Okay, but wait. Did you tell her what you can do about how she felt? Or ask her, does she need you to do anything? Because sometimes women, we process emotionally by just sharing. Doesn't mean that we need you to do anything. We just want to be heard and felt like you got it. But I love what you did because you said, like, that's not even masculine for us to say that. But then when you said it, you said it in your masculine.
Correct.
I understand how you feel, but there's nothing that I can do right now.
Exactly.
And that's it.
And then that's what I'm saying. See, that's a man addressing it.
But you want to fix it. So the fact that she continues to cry bothers you.
No. What I'm saying is I'm using that same key concept to then relate it to what you said, which is, oh yeah, the reason why women nag is because they're not feeling affirmed in what was discussed.
No, that's not all of that I'm saying. Okay. I'm saying just the term nag is already a negative way of framing what is happening, instead of just understanding that she doesn't feel that there's a resolve. Right?
Correct. Because certain things don't have a So going back to that same thing, you have to go to school. You're going to, by law, you have to be in there. There is no resolve. It's that, hey, if it was up to me, you wouldn't be in there and you wouldn't feel the way that
but you're mixing things, right? So this is my 3 to 5 language centers.
Okay.
You're mixing the story about your little daughter who's 2 years old and then with a woman.
Correct.
Can't do that. So let's go back to the nagging. And I hate every time you say it, but I'm going to ride with it, okay? But let's go back to that. So we can't use the school scenario. Let's just say a woman is nagging. And I'm sharing that the reason why she's nagging or still keeps talking about it is because either one of 2 things. She doesn't feel that she has been heard with respect, acceptance, and without judgment. And she doesn't, or she doesn't feel that this situation is really permanently resolved, right? So like what I tell people all the time, tell the woman that you heard her, you understand how she feels, and then tell her, what can you do? Ask her, what can I do in the future so that this does not happen again, or to make you feel better? So that you're putting the responsibility back in her lap. Listen, I'm a woman, and I have to say, we're a little crazy. We do expect you to be, mind reading different times of the month. We're more emotional. So I understand, I get it when men feel like they're looking, in the headlights like a deer in the middle of the street. Like, what do I do? Because I believe that we're sometimes more difficult to understand than necessary, than should be. So I get that. But I'm just giving you, this is the cheat sheet.
Yeah.
If you can say that to her and understand that a lot of the times she's working through, she's processing. And if a woman can't tell you what you need to do to make things better, then that's a problem. That means that heifer doesn't even know her own mind. And this is very true of a lot of people. If I tell you the clients that I've seen that will say that they're upset, and I say, well, what does he need to do the next time differently? Well, I don't know, but I just don't like this. Well, how can you fix it if you don't even know?
That's the point that I'm making.
And at this point, let's shift.
All right, cool.
Let's talk about what's happening, because I heard you begin to say earlier, before we began taping, that masculinity today has a different definition or meaning than it used to.
Yeah, I think that now everything's very hostile or very extreme. So now if you're saying masculine, it already has a negative connotation. So because now everything is, you need to be more into your feminine energy and all of this, all these other things, kind of like what you said. There should be a balance that is created through the partnership, but not because I'm now trying to be like a woman. So I think that in itself is being shifted now, that it's like, no, you need to be more like a woman. You need to understand and respect my feminine. But then so I agree with that. The same way you need to respect my masculine. That's never the talking point. The application of respecting your feminine a lot of times is being hijacked to make the man not be masculine and now force him to be more feminine, but then saying that if you're acting in your masculine, that's somehow an offense to your feminine, which is never true the other way. A woman being a woman does not do anything to a man being a man. But then on the inverse, a man being a man already infringes something upon a woman.
But because historically, women don't receive the same salary. We're kept out of certain places. So, I mean, that's like saying slavery didn't happen. There's a reason why people are still upset, okay?
Of course.
But I want to talk about something a little different there. What do you think about masculinity and gender roles? I mean, do you think that they are also changing? Do you think that there should be specific gender roles?
I think that to each their own. So that's why I was saying I don't even know how to define things. I know how to define it for myself. Because nowadays you have so many things, like I know stay-at-home dads. I know men that take off for paternity leave and the mother is still working and he's home with the child. To me, that makes no sense. But to someone else, that's like, oh no, like he's like, I'm gonna go and do this and that, and that's his role. I'm like, oh, so he's a better nurturer than you, and you carried the baby and everything like that. But I think so
people are starting to partner. They're starting to go beyond the traditional roles. Maybe.
But I've partnered and I've never done nothing like that. I can't take off of my job to stay at home for 3 months to be with my children. But
maybe that person, their job gave paternity leave. Maybe also they were not the main breadwinner, and so to stay home.
Understood.
That means
but that's the point that I'm making. So you're actually making my point. I'm saying I'm not here to judge however you do it, but that in itself is completely not masculine. By definition, he didn't carry her this. It was maternity leave forever. Because it's the woman that actually can feed the baby, that actually can do all this. Yeah, they have formula and stuff like that, but I'm saying naturally. We're just talking about natural. That's unnatural for the woman to still be out working and not being with the child, and then now the man being there. So I'm not saying that it can't work for someone, but I'm saying that's unnatural. That in itself is not masculine.
You're starting to get a little nervous sounding to me the way you're explaining.
No, meaning, but I think that's the issue is, feminine doesn't have that. Feminine is like, hey, what is feminine?
And nobody
feminine
threatens
is this
your femininity.
Exactly. So now,
I see where you're going with that.
So
that's true.
So that's my point.
But let me talk about something that I've noticed. I remember when I was in school at University of Miami, we were taught about in sociology that society was moving more to androgyny. Androgyny is where there's no real distinction between male and female, and there's basically one gender, and everybody just looks like some variation of a gender. I never thought I would see it, but let me tell you what I'm noticing. Look on television, look on all of the commercials, and they're doing it with particular ethnic groups. You'll see the men looking more and more unusually softer, less attractive, less masculine looking. They look like you don't even know what their orientation is. But I'm seeing a lot of that happen. And I was wondering as I was seeing it, could it be that this is society's way, or Hollywood or the entertainment mountains way of pushing society more into a non-gender society?
So this is so funny. Obviously, I'm black, African Americans.
Boy, never know.
Yeah. So what's funny is if you're a black male and you're a millennial, so you're in your mid 30s, well, shoot, millennial goes to early 40s all the way to late 20s, I think. So let's say you're within that 10 to 12 year span. You never grew up seeing your father or your grandfather wear a bonnet and be outside with a bonnet. You only ever saw your mother or your grandmother maybe around the house with a bonnet, or maybe go out to the grocery store with a bonnet. Now there's so many men that are my age that they'll be on social media with a bonnet on. They'll go, I'll go to Publix or Walmart. They're outside with a bonnet. And that's feminine, because that was made for women. Even in our cultural aspect of being African American, men wore do-rags, wave caps. You know, yes, we had our own thing to protect our hair. It was the women that
wore the bonnets.
Yes, now bonnets are being used
let's go back. Let's go to the NBA players, NFL players. They are now wearing furs, pearls.
They're painting their nails.
Pendants, painting their nails.
So that's the point that I'm making.
But where is this coming from, right? I don't see it coming from main society at all. Where I see it coming from is coming from the places that impact us.
I see it both ways.
With media.
So
like there's a stylist that just, does Joe local? So you got to look at sequence. What came first?
Yeah.
It's been like almost 10 years now since NBA players, NFL players, and the like started doing their nails, wearing furs. You're talking about
purses.
Also rappers and things like that,
and everything.
Are starting to lose this idea of traditional masculinity in terms of the way that they dress and what they wear. And so, I mean, you can see that there's an erosion. Now, to say whether masculinity is becoming irrelevant or not, but you can certainly see the trend that things are.
Yeah, but that's my point, is the push is to make it irrelevant because it's been framed as evil for all the things that you said, because it's a man's world, because men get unfair advantages, which is all true. But that doesn't make masculinity wrong. The same way masculinity and femininity can't be wrong, because it's just the way that God created us. It is what it is. So I think that's what I'm trying to articulate.
That's like saying that somebody black or Hispanic is bad or wrong, when
that's
really
what I'm trying to
racism
say.
is wrong.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say, is even in the construct of all of your examples, a lot of the times it's still framing masculinity as being wrong, where a masculine man is just going to respond to someone to a thing a certain type of way because he's not feminine. So there's always this get out of jail free card. You aren't accepting my femininity. No, I'm just being masculine. Sometimes it is that. But now it's just like, oh, well, you fired me because I'm black. No, brother, you had the worst metrics. See, but now I always have that in my back pocket. Look, well, I'm the only black person here. Well, because there's not a lot of black people in that industry. Sometimes it is that, and then sometimes it's not. But the issue is that you can always pull out that card, and now that other person's like, well, it is true, it has been a man's world, it is this and that, where now, bro, you didn't do nothing wrong. So we don't even have the intelligence to know when it is when a man is not accepting your femininity, or when he's just simply being in his masculine. And what I'm saying is the same is not inverse. It's like a woman being a woman, no one's, you need to be more masculine. No,
I think it's unspoken, but I think it certainly is in the halls of the business arena. I think it most certainly is. When you look at women in leadership, you definitely feel it. But this brings us to our closing round. We're going to sound off on he said, she said. So let's hear from you. What's your perspective?
So my perspective is that masculinity is still needed. It's very important. I just think that how you define it is really up to you, because there's going to be definitions that you can get from Google, and you'll say, no, that's not right. Because we've evolved so much, like I said, with that bonnet thing. That's someone that's even my age. You never saw your dad or your grandfather do it, but now it's commonplace for your generation to do it. So that now, so now that's not a feminine thing anymore because you've created that way. Painting your nails, apparently that's not a feminine thing anymore because now society has shifted, but masculinity doesn't shift.
Yeah.
So my key takeaway is really know what masculinity is, because that will never change. It's the same way femininity won't. But beware, because in this time, people are using, they're really hijacking things to push it along with a narrative that has nothing to do with it. So I will be very careful whenever you hear someone saying too much about femininity, masculinity. We all know what it is, and just be strong and be firm in that. That doesn't mean that you don't evolve. That doesn't mean that you don't work on yourself and even try to understand, but don't let it be something that you're ashamed of or that you feel like you can't identify with how God made you.
I hear you. Well, that's good. Now I guess I'll sound off, and I guess I would say I think masculinity is under attack. I think it's definitely shifting, but I want to draw a line in the sand. I think that there's something to be said for masculinity in terms of gender roles. A man being more of a partner. We know that is the trend in most relationships. Women are wanting men that are going to partner. They don't want to just be stuck in traditional feminine roles that just because they had the baby, they got to take care of the baby. They want someone that shares in cleaning the house, cooking, taking care of the kids, taking them to the doctors when they're sick. And so that, I think, has really nothing to do with masculinity. I think that just has to do with gender roles and what works for each individual family.
Correct.
But I do believe masculinity is under attack. I think there's a movement in the social realm to delete it and to bring us into androgyny, where there really is no male and female, and we're just like sexless generations.
Yeah.
Don't know how that's going to work, but I do believe that it is under attack. At any rate, thank you for joining us. If you like what you heard, please share and subscribe and like. Anyways, until next time, we're going to have more great things to talk about. So I hope this keeps you thinking about what we discussed today and looking forward to the next segment.
All right.
See you soon.
See you.